All right, and that took us to the main event, Anthony.
Which was Seth Freakin Rollins adorned in a Dusty Rhodes polka dots.
Wasn't that brilliant?
Yes, that was brilliant.
I loved it.
Versus an injured Cody Rhodes in a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, it was when they said actually I must say when Rollins come out and he was sort of wrapped up in that coat, you knew there was something because he kept wrapping it on and he kept holding on, and I kept thinking, oh, what's he got on? That's the first thing I was thinking. He's got something on because he's always a bit outrageous with his gear, which is actually a little bit like his wife Becky Lynch's gear in the first match. But and then when he opened it up, I think the last thing in the world, you could have had 100 picks at what he might have worn. You wouldn't have picked the polka dots.
No.
And I thought it was absolutely brilliant. As soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, this is going to be a good match. You just knew. And even in the ring, when they're both there, he's got his fit thumbs in the singlet and he's waving the polka dots at Cody. Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
That was main event 101 stuff, the whole bloody match, in my opinion, given the circumstances. And then, of course, once, because you didn't know how bad Cody was, but they've been alluding to it through the show. And then when he took that coat off that he wears, that, and you saw the whole crowd sort of, ooh, and they just went really silent and looked. Because this isn't hype. This is, you could see it.
Yeah, you can't. Well, we're trying to say how can we fake that? We're saying to Anthony, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out how. And I said, we'll know if it's fake if it runs halfway through the match. And it didn't.
No,
it didn't run. There was the sweat would, if it was makeup, the sweat would have poured it off.
No.
So he would have been sore or on a lot of painkillers. Trust me, I've been at that end, and that hurts because you can't lift your arm, you can't move no part of your body.
Sorry, but the responsibility of the main event, cage match, Hell in a Cell, whatever you want to call it, but it was, and you could see he was hurting.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have been around long enough. When you're watching, I thought it was just a phenomenal effort.
Yep.
I can't speak highly enough of that. I've written 2.5 pages of notes on this match, and I could run through all of my dot points, but at the end of the day, I think it was the first time in any pay-per-view that we have covered, I gave a match a 10 out of 10.
Okay, I didn't go that high.
No,
I went 8.5 for me, which is a good score.
For you, it's good. I just thought it was an instant classic. All things considered, the injury, legitimate injury, the match, the way they did it, and kudos, as I said earlier tonight, to both of them.
Yeah, respect.
Because Rollins, more than did his part to sort of get the match over because of, Cody being limited. But even when he had the kendo stick and he was sort of stabbing in that area, earlier in the match with it, and I loved it. And then when the bull rope come out and it had the old cowbell. And
the cowbell sounded good when you hit Rollins in the head with it, made that clunk.
Yeah. I won't go as far as saying I marked out because I didn't. But I really, really, really enjoyed it. For me, it was an instant classic. I wrote here almost old school, slower sort of match.
Would you say it had the best of old school and new school combined?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
I thought that when I was watching. It was a good combination of both. Yeah. It was like, it's finally, if you had that perfect mix of the current style and the old school style together, that's what the match was.
If they could get more matches a bit like that, I think they could almost get WWE back up to sort of in the heyday. But you got to have people who can do it. Those two
That's right.
But they've got enough people there that if they release them a little bit, could do matches like that.
Well, there's no reason why Owens and the guy like Ezekiel could pull that match off similar to that. You would never get that out of Lashley or any of those guys. No. Ashley, the women's do it. I think the women's probably do it more regularly than the guys.
Yeah, well,
that no new school, old school mix. The way they do their matches is more of that style anyway.
I think the pay-per-view had great bookends, Anthony. The opening match was excellent, and the main event was excellent, and everything in between was a bit of a, as you said,
bit of a dog's breakfast.
It really was, and it was interesting because I keep going back to having only one SmackDown branded match. Surely to goodness, there must have been someone else in the SmackDown group, even the Usos against someone, or there must have been something else better.
Must have been a Polynesian holiday because there was no Islanders on the show at all.
No, well, they're sort of cooling Reigns off a little bit. But surely to goodness, there must have been something better than the 2 or 3 of those matches that we've just skimmed over. I mean, with the roster he's still got, if you couldn't put something better on than some of those in the middle, maybe I don't get it.
Well, what's the next major one coming up, Anthony?
Well, we've got Money in the Bank.
And then SummerSlam?
Yeah, I feel that's what it leads to.
So everything will be leading to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So next... Yeah, sorry.
I'd reckon Lashley will be in against Rollins at SummerSlam. I reckon now they'll start moving Lashley and Rollins at each other.
You reckon?
I reckon at the end of the Lashley match.
Notice in the match.
Yeah.
At the end of the Omos Bobby Lashley match, the referee had come out of the ring and he was kneeling down near the ring steps on the corner. Yeah. And he had his 2 hands up to his mouth and he was shouting out something to Lashley. Yeah. And Lashley looked at him and heard it. And then Lashley jumps out of the ring, goes over to a member of the crowd who's got a championship belt. Yeah. And he took the championship belt and he's holding it up.
That's what I saw, yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to challenge for one of the belts. Now, whether it's the Raw belt, no, it's actually unified now. So I'm wondering whether it's Roman Reigns.
Well, that's the logical dance partner, isn't it?
Well, if you're going out, and he did, this referee twice shouted out to him, and he had his hands up like that, and he's shouting out to him, and he's looking at him, and and then he goes and does it. And I thought, well, okay, that was a prompter, and obviously an important part for him to be holding a belt up.
Well, yeah, he's just beaten 2 guys at the same time. One of them's apparently the new giant. The other one's a capable wrestler. You know, so you would think that if you're going to run against anyone, that'd be the guy against
well, the
Reigns.
Next pay-per-view, interestingly enough, as we said, is the Money in the Bank. But in Australia, it's on, for us, it's on a Sunday, not a Monday, because it's a Saturday night over there.
Okay.
So it's at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada on Sunday, July 3 for us. So we can actually watch it on a Sunday as opposed to a Monday.
We should maybe see if we can get together and watch it together.
We could do, and no, I suppose you can't do a live pay-per-view, but I mean a live podcast. But
if you leave me on a live podcast, I'll be swearing all over the joint. So it might be out of control.
Yeah. You have to clean it all up. I don't really want to do that.
But if it's a Sunday, there'd be nothing stopping us watching it then.
No, I think we should look at doing that. Yeah, maybe get special guest Graham in as well.
Yeah. I'm up for that. Absolutely. Sunday, July the 3rd. Our time, so it'll be about, 9? The pre-show will be about 9 a.m. and the actual show itself will be 10 o'clock in the morning our time.
Okay. We'll have to work out a way how we're going to get together all at the same time.
Oh, look, whatever you want to do, I'm easy.
All right, we'll have a chat.
I'll tell all the girls. But going back to that main event, I thought it was, I loved it.
No, it was a great match.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly. I thought it was really good. Because, again, all things considered.
Yeah.
You know, because that's no small feat what they did, you know, given the circuit. I mean, they didn't pull back anything. They still did everything they would have planned.
Rhodes was impressive. He was really impressive. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Rollins.
Nah.
But Rhodes was impressive. Like, to work with that, you know, being a legit injury like that.
And they still did
amazing.
He still went through a table. They still bought chairs out, kendo sticks.
There must have been a lot of painkillers to the point that he was numb.
Well, he was. It's not that he was out on his feet, but he wasn't overly steady on his feet a few times.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's a combination of the pain and fatigue, or the pain, fatigue, and some of the medication we're in.
If you get enough medication, you can do it, but it does affect. But his performance was great.
Oh, look, as I said, he'll come back with more heat than when he came in.
Yeah. And he's the guy really at the end of it. If they're going to drop if Reigns is going to drop the belt, he's the guy.
Yeah.
You build him up right. He's everything. He walks around in a red, white, and blue gear. He's known as the American Nightmare.
Street club.
Yeah.
He's the ultimate old school, new school professional.
Exactly right. He's got the perfect blend.
Oh, yeah. I honestly think whatever they're paying him, which is rumoured to be $3 million, I think it's a bargain.
Yeah. I think they paid him $3 million thinking they were going to get somebody that was partially washed up and he's come in and really just really kicked goals as soon as he's walked in.
And you know the other thing he's done? I think he's actually put the rest of the talent on notice in terms of sort of the level of professionalism you need to be.
Yep.
I mean, his father was a massive supporter of Rollins.
Yeah.
Massive supporter of him. So there is a connection there and whatever. And I've seen a lot of stuff on social media where people are saying, well, that was pointless, Rollins losing. Why have the third match? But
it doesn't hurt a heel to lose, though.
No.
Doesn't hurt a heel.
But because of the ring psychology and understanding the business and whatever, he's lost nothing.
No, that's right.
He has lost nothing at all, Rollins.
It was 2 or 3 crossroads in a row to get the finish,
yeah.
Right? And actually it was 2 or 3, and then 2 or 3 crossroads in a row.
Yeah.
The sledge.
And the sledge. So you had to really put him down and put him down.
And then the pedigree at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and that was homage to Triple H, which was instrumental in both their careers.
Well, also with the sledgehammer coming out, because when Cody first went to AEW, remember, he got the sledgehammer and smashed the and all that. So there was a wee bit of byplay in there.
Yeah.
And then, but I loved it. I don't often get super excited about a match, but I just thought, all things considered and understanding what he's gone through, bloody good effort.
Well, I wasn't excited about the match before the show, and then Anthony said to me about the pec tear, and I actually said, "Oh, it's bullshit. It's just broken up." And then obviously it's not, right?
Yeah.
But when I was watching the match, I was getting into it. It's one of the only matches on the card. One of the only matches. I think it's only really been him and Rollins and Cody Rhodes at the moment that have excited me to watch a match. Got me excited into watching matches.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too many times lately, and I think those two guys, I get excited to watch them. I enjoy watching what I'm watching.
Well, I wrote down here instant classic, because I think when they start putting a DVD together of some of the great matches of the last, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years or something, you'd have to put that in there.
There wouldn't be many to put in.
No. Well, actually, that's funny, isn't it? Because if you said to me, what would be, say, another one that you can remember off the top of your head of late? The last really, really good one I remember was Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
WrestleMania.
Or even Undertaker Triple H. That was another good one.
Yeah, but again, you're not talking anything current.
No. Yeah.
Well, not off the top of my head that stands
nothing in the last 5 or 6 years that you'd say to yourself, well, this is,
So that's why, you sort of look into it a bit deeper. But anyway, I loved it. I did actually give it a 10 out of 10.
I went 8.5, and I do mark things hard, and I was impressed with the match.
Well, Anthony's a hard marker. What do you give it?
I gave it a 9.
There you go.
There's your highest score, because I've never given a 10.
And Anthony's never given a 9.
No. So that says something.
Yeah.
That's very good, Anthony. I'm very proud of you. Well done. So, good stuff. Because, look, I think it deserves all the credit it gets.
It does. Yeah, it does. Very good match.
Got
2 great workers.
See what they do now with Money in the Bank, because, well, obviously they're going to have to come up with somebody new to win it, because Cody was destined to win it.
You'd have to look at Lashley to win it. You'd have to, wouldn't you?
Well, I think you would now, and maybe because they knew about the pectoral tear, with the referee shouting out, "Go grab the belt" to Lashley.
Yeah.
maybe they sort of knew, well, this guy's not going to be able to wrestle next month for Money in the Bank. So obviously their plans are switched. So you're probably right. If you think about it, it probably is Lashley given some very, very stern instruction to go and get that belt off the guy in the crowd in the front row. And he took his belt and then he just took it back later and gave it to him, back to the fan in the crowd. But yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. I think that's the only logical person at this point because they sort of squashed what's the Scottish guy's name again?
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre. They sort of squashed him
a
little bit. There's a little bit of a run against Reigns, and I think if they had have held off 2 months, they probably might have been pushing him for that belt. In a bigger match
timing, but you don't know.
You don't know.
Like, what's the old saying? Shit happens, and
yeah.
How many shows have we done or been at or whatever, and then last minute someone pulls out or they get injured or whatever, and it can screw your whole.
Drew McIntyre is another guy where big guy, good look, everything else, but he's just missing that thing. He's always going to be mid-card.
There is something.
He's a bit like a Happy Corbin or it's like where their guys are big guys. They're athletic. They've got everything going for them, and you think, why are you getting over? There's just something not there. I think it's got to go down to gimmick. It's got to.
I mean, he's got the ring ability. He's got the physique. He's got the height. He's got the physique, as I said. I suppose he's got the look. I mean, he can work. I mean,
without it, it's not nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do with.
Is it that he tries to be a bit too intense or a bit too?
Well, I don't know. He's Scottish. Scottish people are pretty intense generally.
Well,
they do have a bit of a joke, though. But But
I don't know if you remember him, and I would think it'd probably be before your time. But I know he worked here in Australia. But there was a wrestler in New Zealand back in the 70s, Scottish, called Robert Bruce.
I've heard of him, but I don't think I've ever seen him.
You know, if Drew McIntyre had short hair, they could look like identical twins.
Really?
And he was a big 19.5 stone Scottish guy. Used to team up with King Curtis, and they were a heel tag team.
Yeah.
Brilliant, but he got injured and couldn't work again and ended up doing movies and stunts and whatever. I don't know whatever happened to him, but he is identical.
It's that thing of, like, we'll go back to the Hogan thing, right?
Yeah.
Hogan was unique for his time to be that thick at that height and that size, and so he was a bit of a freak. But before he found the gimmick, when he was working as Terry Bollea and that, he was a mid-carder.
Oh, yeah.
He was a mid-carder. He really was. Until he found the Hulk gimmick, started working that, and obviously timing was everything. I think if you found the right gimmick for these guys, you got a few winners there.
Is it just a very quick one? Is it me, or do you get a little bit shitted off that every match there's that kip up now?
Yeah, it's because everyone can do it.
The kip up, bit like the super kick.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it in every match.
Yeah, once The Rock got it down and he was getting a pop, everyone that at the size of The Rock is pulling it off. Doesn't need to be done.
Nah. Yeah, maybe I'm just a bit old and grumpy and I haven't had dinner yet. So, but yeah, I'm getting sick of the kip up and the super kick.
Yeah.
Give it a rest, boys. Anyway, so we're going to convene, obviously. Then, Anthony, we're going to do a huge, big Money in the Bank one.
Yeah, we will.
All right.
Well, we're going to try and get these things, or anyone that's listening to us, we'll try and get these things weekly. We're talking.
Yes.
So we may talk about the news. Not everyone will be as long as this one. There might only be 1 hour ones, but we're going to start doing the news and maybe talk about a little local promotions, like one NAW, which is coming back. It's coming.
Saturday, July 30.
That's right. Yes, that's exactly right. We're back. We're going to have the old original stars, a lot of NAW of recent times, and some new ones as well. We're very excited about. And will be more, obviously, because we'll be running this show weekly. There'll be more information as the weeks go by. So just keep in tune for that.
We'll have some guests who'll be appearing on those shows.
Yes, we will be. We'll start talking to some people and getting them on there and getting on here. And start working up the local scene as much as we possibly can, as well as the international scene.
Yes.
And Anthony will be orchestrating all this because he
Yes.
is the mad scientist of pro wrestling.
The Professor Julius Sumner Miller of 2022.
That's exactly right, and he'll be organising all this and getting everything together. And I'm looking forward to going weekly. I really am.
Yes, I haven't gone weekly for a long time.
Yeah, once you hit a certain age, weekly is hard.
And on that happy note, we might just hand it back to young Anthony.
You can just fire us off.
The one thing I will say though,
Yes.
just on the Cody Rhodes thing, for the local professional wrestlers that do watch the product, just because Cody Rhodes wrestled injured doesn't mean you should.
Correct.
Yes. That'd be stupid.
Very true.
And don't put that onto your opponent as well, and also on the promoter as well. Don't go. Oh, I can still go when you got your arm hanging down from the bicep downwards.
Now, very wise words out there.
Yes.
You never work injured. It's not that important. There's always, when they say, live to fight another day.
This is true.
See, I hate to be the one to say this, but the difference between a local professional wrestler like you and Cody Rhodes is like Cody Rhodes is a professional. Do I condone what he did? Of course, he was injured, but I also got to admire him as well.
Oh, yeah. Huge respect.